Thank you po sa lahat ng nagbabanggit sa Taguig. I will continue to invite not only Senator Lacson, not only in staff, but everyone. Iba kasi yung sa papel-papel, iba yung sa picture-picture. Tignan nyo yung budget, pumunta kayo sa lugar, makikita nyo yung nandyan talaga yung project at magaganda. Again, to the best of my knowledge. Iba sa inyo, ayaw na ayaw sa akin dati. Baka naman nagbago ako ng konti, gusto nyo na rin. May iba tayong politiko, including Senator Lacson, gustong-gusto natin dati, maaari ngayong hindi. Pero may pag-asa parate, baka bumalik siya sa dati niyang for the truth fighting stance, 'di ba? So let's not give up on people because God did not give up on us, 'di ba? Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Good afternoon sa akin Facebook friends and family. I hope you're having a happy weekend. May magandang topic po tayo today. We will be talking about whose job is it? Kanino bang trabaho to? Or kanino bang responsibilidad ito? Okay? Whose job is it? So, babalikan natin yan. Let's start out, as we start out always, by praising God, thanking God. So, isabay ko na sa pagbati ko sa inyo. The Lord God, I thank you for Filipinos who are in Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, sa ating hardworking Filipinos who are all around the world, taking care not only of themselves, but they're taking care of their family, and they're also fueling our economy. Lord, we thank you not only for the blessings, we thank you for all the struggles. So, tandaan po natin lahat yon. Kailangan magpasalamat tayo sa Diyos sa lahat ng pagsubok, pag-usig, struggles natin. It's meant to make us even stronger. So, watching from Hong Kong, si Mayo Nice. Andy, kamusta ka rin? Indaylin, good afternoon. Dedumo, Male, Yao, Arl. Yan. Nympha, De Guspas, hello ulit. Thank you for being consistent sa ating pong vlog at pangangamusta dito po sa Facebook. Harry Viduya, Romel Guevara, magandang hapon sa inyo. So let's always start with a grateful heart. Alam ko po na kapag may problema, family problems, relationships, lalong-lalo po pagka meron may sakit, ang taas ng presyo ng kuryente ngayon, so kung panahon magbayad ng bill, end of the month, start of the month, so nakuha yung sweldo pero hindi pa nabibilang, ubos na. Challenges cannot be underestimated. You know what? One thing I learned, kasi nag-start ako bilang konsehal before becoming congressman, senator, speaker, Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and Senate President. Bilang mga konsehal, ang kaibahan kasi, walang problemang maliit. Diba? So, for example, minsan pag nasa Senate ka, parang may hingi sa'yo ng tulong for tuition. O kaya meron siyang may sakit na kulang yung pang-opera o kulang sa gamot. It's always important, pero minsan may tendency yung ibang, let's say, senators to say na, total, ako nagpasa ng PhilHealth bill o kaya naglagay ako ng napakalaking pondo sa DOH, so hindi ko man matulungan ng husto yung isang may sakit, natulungan ko naman kayong lahat, di ba? Or minsan pag speaker ka, napakalaking pondo, napakaraming batas na naayos mo. Pero yun nga, pag ikaw ay kagawad, konsehal, barangay captain, even mayors of municipalities na konti yung pondo, walang maliit o malaking problema di ba? So for example, yung isang nasa burol na hindi mailibing yung kanyang kamag-anak, for him or her, that is the biggest problem in the world, di ba? Kung nanay mo o asawa mo kailangan ng chemotherapy at kulang, hindi mo naman iintindihan yung pondo ng PhilHealth o yung kalagayan ng healthcare sa buong Pilipinas. Ang pinaka-importante sa iyo, yung paano mapagamot yung kamag-anak mong may sakit, di ba? So, yun po ang isang benefit ng nakapag-local at nakapag-national. Mababalance mo na yes, the higher your position, the more you can do, but the more na nasa grassroots ka, the more na alam mo na every single problem is a big problem. So the question is, whose job is it? So let me go back in time. Alam nyo po, nung dumami yung Christian sa period po ng Rome, di ba sa Roman Empire, they took care, of course, of the officials. Di ba? Yung mga nobles nila, yung si Caesar, mga senators nila, and isang inaalaga nila, mga sundalo nila. Kasi syempre, as they conquer other places, then they plunder it. Ibig sabihin, kinukuha yung mga kayamanan. May reward yung mga yan, whether lupain, or whether babayaran sila, or share of yung mga na-plunder nila. In modern times, parang lahat inaasa natin sa gobyerno, lalo sa socialist government, di ba? Sa capitalist governments, democracy, halos parang socialism na rin minsan na free education, health, yung mga kalye, etc. Pero may halo, di ba? For example, sa atin, yung mga pinaka-convenient natin na highways, panay toll road, may bayad din. Unlike, for example, sa US, kaya nga freeway, dahil libre siya, di ba? NJ Alamia, labanan mo sila, Senator, kahit ikaw lang mag-isa. NJ, thank you po sa iyong paalala. Sinabi din sa akin ni Bishop Bam, kung tawagin po namin, si Bishop Oriel. Pinaalala niya sa akin na kung may mission sa'yo si Lord, kahit mag-isa lumaban. So pag-pray niyo po ako, pag-pray niyo po ang ating bansa, we will continue to advocate, we'll continue to, basta ang prayer ko, ilagay ako ni Lord kung saan niya gusto at gawin ko yung gusto niya. Siguro I'll take this opportunity to thank all of you who's not only, yung iba giving me the benefit of the doubt, yung iba full faith and confidence, and let me assure you, lahat ng allegations na binabato sa amin ay masasagot, at let me assure you na maayos dito sa Taguig, di ba? As I keep saying, to the best of my knowledge, walang ghost project dito. May mga technical, may mga kailangan ipaliwanag, pero syempre yung details, kailan, sino, etc. dadating po tayo dyan. So hinihintay ko lang parati yung specific na allegation. Minsan kasi hulugan din yung mga allegation. But that's not our topic today. June Bauto from Kuwait, Danilo Leharde, watching from Paris, France. Yan, sa Paris pa siya. God bless you guys. No? Yun ang gusto ko po pag medyo hapon at late at night, ating mga kababayan abroad nakakasabay din. Gilbert Ubana, salute pabalik sa iyo, Gilbert. So, guys, itutuloy po natin ang ating advocacy. As I told you, medyo pinapayuhan ako na medyo mas statesman, medyo mas may grace and love. Pinapaalala sa akin parati ng mga Christian leaders, hate the sin but love the sinner. Sabi ko nga, di ba, hate the sin, love the sinner, pero buwagin ang sindikato. Ayan, kasi maraming sindikato talaga eh. So, I was saying guys, whether you talk about education, whether you talk about feeding programs, whether you talk about health, mga ospital, mga clinic, Tito Leroy Tan, God bless you. Thank you for your love, Tito Leroy, at parating yung pagpapaalala mo sa akin na huwag magkasakit at ano yung mga home remedy pagka nagkakasakit o yung mga preventive, katulad sabi ni Tito Leroy, yung honey nakakalaban daw ng bakterya sa throat para whether it's madalas ka magka-sore throat o acid, mag-honey daw. Thank you for that, Tito Leroy. Usay Kuwiko, God bless you. Bal Mercida, hello, gabayan kayo ng Panginoon. Kailangan po talaga. But remember guys, don't only pray for the leaders, business leaders, religious leaders, community leaders, leaders sa education, sa country na you like. Pati yung hindi nyo gusto, lalo nyo pag-pray. Kasi nga, dapat itama ni Lord tayong lahat, di ba? Pag hindi tinama ni Lord lahat ng leaders natin, tatamaan tayong lahat. Michelle Boward from Hawaii. Yan, Jess Saldua, good afternoon sa iyo. Blessings from Hong Kong, Sheila Labutan, God bless you. Dagdag tapang, laban lang po, Marlon Inco. Thank you, thank you. Minsan kasi may nagsasabi sa akin, bawas-bawasan ng tapang, meron yung iba. Lahat naman sinasabi laban. Yung iba naman, dagdagan yung tapang. So, let me assure you guys, di ba, whether we're talking about Senator Lacson o yung ibang nabanggit ko dati, yan, may hawak din tayo pero sa tamang lugar at panahon at sa laban-laban, but sabi ko nga, hindi tayo pwedeng ma-distract. Ayusin natin kung anong kalaban. Ang kalaban, poverty, kalaban, kahirapan, kalaban, mataas na presyo, kalaban din ay ang corruption. At pag sinabi natin corruption, hindi lang yung tao, pe yung sistema. So guys, whose job is it? So nung Roman times, nung nagkaroon ng Christian community, so pasintabi sa akin mga kapatid dito from the different religions, I just want to talk a little bit about the Christian community during the Roman Empire. Sila nag-start nung radical love at yung pagkakaroon ng mini schools, pagkakaroon ng ospital, pagkakaroon ng mga doktor na libre. So, nung ancient times, hindi po gobyerno ang may trabaho sa yung ibang social service. Yung public works, at nung public works nung una ay very basic. For example, sanitation, di ba? Yung maraming nagkakasakit sa Industrial Revolution. So, panahon man ng Romans or nung sa kanina may taga-Paris, yung mga taga-UK dyan, di ba? Nung nagkaroon dyan ng industrialization, maraming sakit. Bakit? Kasi nga walang mga drainage, walang sewerage. Tapos yung dumi, whether dumi ng tao o yung mga waste, lalo nung nagka-factories, kung saan-saan lang tinatapon. So when I say public works, pati tubig. Di ba? Dati kaya nga tabi ng river parate. That's why the richest civilizations, for example, Egypt sa tabi ng Nile River, di ba? Ang hanggang ngayon, whether Thailand o Vietnam, dahil sa rivers nila, yung agriculture, whether it's rice or whether nga yung delivery or transportation ng mga goods, di ba? But nung mga panahon na yon, Rod Oriesa, thank you. 3 a.m. sa California, pero nanonood na nakikita mo kami at nanonood ka. I'm sorry if I woke you up and I hope worth it yung ating pag-uusapan ngayon. Ang gusto ko lang kasi emphasize is that while it is the duty and responsibility of government to provide for our people, sabi sa Bible, prevent evil and to do good, di ba? So dapat kabutihan ang ginagawa ng gobyerno, then prevent evil. So when say prevent evil, kasama dyan ang peace and order, kasama dyan yung halimbawa yung pinagbabawal na gamot, kasama dyan yung halimbawa protection of property, yung hindi ka nakawan, di ba? So promoting good, kasama dyan yung tamang edukasyon. But nung araw, trabaho po ng bawat tao yon. So nung araw, yung church, hindi naman building yon, more of a community, especially nung hindi pa Holy Roman Empire na kung saan hinuhuli pa yung mga Christians, patago yung churches nila, pero they're practicing radical love by sharing yung pera nila, then building communities, tapos yung mga doktor, paggagamot. So my point is, if you ask, kanino bang responsibilidad na palakihin yung mga anak na responsible citizens? Huwag maging bastos, huwag maging violent sa school, huwag magnakaw. Primarily the parents, the family. Pero trabaho din po ng church yon. Trabaho din po ng imam yon, trabaho din po ng pastor, trabaho din po ng ministro, trabaho din po ng pari yon. Trabaho din po ng school yon, di ba? Kaya nga pinapapasok sa school para turuan ng tama. Pero syempre, kung half day yung school, 60, 70, 80 yung classroom, hindi naman mababantayan ng teacher lahat ng mga estudyante. So, karamihan ngayon, barkada at saka social media. At sa social media, hindi natin nababantayan lahat. Marami din pong mga masasamang tinuturo. Marivic Yasui, did I say it correct? From Japan. So, pag may nakita kang beautiful na tao or beautiful woman sa Japan sa afternoon, anong sasabihin mo? Magandang hapon. Ayan. So, magandang hapon sa inyo dyan sa Japan. So guys, I wanted to emphasize in our short kamustahan today is that while government, so like SONA, kontra SONA, I think we all understand the problem. So for example, presyo ng kuryente, hindi naman kaya ng individual yan. But syempre, kung may extra ka, yung kapitbahay mo wala, pwede mong pautangin or tulungan. Pero for example, sa pagbabantay ng anak, may kapitbahay ka, hirap din siyang turuan yung anak niya, let's say sa math, pero ikaw magaling ka sa math, pwede ka mag-volunteer, di ba? Ang health center niyo walang gamot, may extra ka, pwede ka rin mag-share. So what I wanted to forward here today is that I really hope hindi sumama yung ekonomiya at hindi po maging mas taghirap going to our last quarter, October, November, December. Usually po ang Pasko, yan po ang time ng hindi lang giving, but yan po ang time na talaga ang Pinoy kasama ang kanyang pamilya. But syempre, pag mahirap yung ekonomiya, doble, triple po ang hirap ng ating mga kababayan during this time. So, if we start changing our culture and mindset, for example po sa US, talagang kultura mag-tip. So, pinag-uusapan namin to lately kasi one benefit of yung ganito na medyo araw-araw may pagsubok, either nagla-lunch or dinner kami ni Lani kasama at saka iba naming ka-close, whether sa bahay yan or whether kung saan-saan, but mas nakakapag-fellowship at magkasama. So, binabanggit ko sa kanila, Jolan Rosario from United Arab Emirates. So, kamusta na po kayo dyan? Kamusta po mga taga-Israel, taga-UAE, Qatar, Bahrain? Alam ko, marami din tayong Pinoy sa Iraq. Let's continue praying for them. Dodi, beards more. Parang ako more beard. Dodi, thank you very much. So guys, mabalik ako doon sa pinag-uusapan natin. Minsan mas gusto ko ganitong format kasi nakikita ko comments nyo at nakakamusta ko kayo. Irene, God bless you more. Seth Camara, I love the quote. Hate the sin but love the sinners. Yes, kasi di ba Irene, lahat naman tayo work in progress. So, iba sa inyo, ayaw na ayaw sa akin dati. Baka naman nagbago ako ng konti, gusto nyo na rin. May iba tayong politiko, including Senator Lacson, gustong-gusto natin dati, maaari ngayong hindi. Pero may pag-asa parate, baka bumalik siya sa dati niyang for the truth fighting stance, di ba? So let's not give up on people because God did not give up on us, di ba? Jen Nessa, watching from Italy ba yan? Flag ng Italy. Laban, thank you, Lee. Yan. Mayo, nice. Laban Sen, thank you. So guys, yung responsibility natin, hindi lang sa sarili at pamilya, hindi lang sa loved one, nandun din sa ating community. So, if we help each other, government can help those who cannot help themselves. For example po, sa palengke, marami po sa palengke, actually even sa pila ng tricycle or anywhere we go, 5-6 talagang inuutangan. And again sa mga nagfa 5-6 naman, I'm not saying per se masama ang ginagawa kasi negosyo din yan. At may mga hindi nagbabayad din, so kailangan maganda din ang tubo. Doon po sa hindi familiar, ang 5-6 po, pautang ka ng 5-6 ang balik sa'yo, so more than 20% kasi, so halimbawa po, papautang ako 5,000 pesos sa palengke, babayaran ako ng 200 a day. So at the end of the month, 6,000 na yan. So can you imagine if you have 500,000 in January, by February, if you have 500,000 na napautang, meaning 5,000 na napautang sa 100 people in January, February, 600,000 na, kumita ka na ng 100,000. O, yung 600,000 mo, 20% nun, 120,000, 720,000 na pera mo sa March. Give or take, kasi yung iba hindi nagbabayad kasi hirap din. But ang point ko, kung ikaw ay may-ari ng palengke o ikaw ay isa sa tenant din na hindi nangungutang pero maganda takbo ng negosyo mo, yung mapautang mo at less interest, or for example, siguro shout out ko si Doc Alvin Ang, no? Sila nung asawa niya, may ano po sila, it's not a panata, it's a commitment na they will continue to help people in financial literacy, no? So, ang target nila mag-asawa para both yung lalaki at babae ay nakakaintindi. So, for example, meron kang gift ng financial literacy. May co-op or wala pang co-op yung palengke o kaya talipapa, let's say may sa kalye nyo may 10, may kalenderya, may barberya, may parlor, may bentahan ng bigas. O kakasabi ko lang kalenderya Karkar Cebu, napakasarap diyan ang chicharon at saka ng lechon. Yung diyan, yung chicharon bagong luto na may taba tapos napakalutong tapos in front of you pa, di ba? So shout out sa mga taga Karkar. Maayong hapon sa kaninyong tanan. Kinahanglan akong adto dyan sa inyo soon. Sana po magka time kami. From Qatar, Jason. So assalamualaikum lahat ng ating kapatid na Muslim. So guys, when we say whose job it is, huwag tayong magturo kaagad na trabaho ng mayor yan, trabaho ng presidente, trabaho ng gobyerno yan, trabaho ng pari yan. I-include din natin ating sarili. Kasi the more na we think as a community, as a bigger family, more na makakaligtas tayo o makakaraos tayo sa mga problem areas at the more magde-develop tayo. Maybe I can shout out and take a page out of the Filipino-Chinese associations. So, halimbawa, bago ka sa Filipino-Chinese Association, let's say, nagbebenta ka ng tubig. So, lahat ng may restaurant doon, kung pareho din lang ang price ng tubig mo, sa'yo na kukunin para makatulong. O kaya, pag member ka na, at let's say, hindi ka ganun ka well off, pero may anak kang magaling, baka scholar nila. So, yung sense of community, yung tribalism itself, minsan masama, na parang my tribe versus your tribe. But yung sense of community sa isang tribe, maganda po yun. So, yun ang aking konting sharing at contribution sa inyo ngayong hapon, going to Sunday na nag-iisip. Thank you po sa lahat ng nagbabanggit sa Taguig. I will continue to invite not only Senator Lacson, not only his staff, but everyone. Iba kasi yung sa papel-papel, iba yung sa picture-picture. Tignan nyo yung budget, pumunta kayo sa lugar, makikita nyo yung nandyan talaga yung project at magaganda. Again, to the best of my knowledge. But thank you sa lahat ng encouragement. Lori Ann Alcazaren, Zara Punsalan, Rosemary Diwa, God bless you too. So guys, when we are asked, whose job is it? Anong biblical principle doon? Sabi po sa Bible, love God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your mind, above everything and everyone. But may kasunod, love others as you love yourself. So question, kung gutom ka, will you feed yourself? Kung may sakit ka, will you bring yourself to the doctor? Kung sinabi ng doktor may kailangang gamutin, will you spend for yourself na paggagamot? Or wag ng sarili mo, mga mahal mo sa buhay. So paano natin ibabalik? Diba nung araw pag sinabing probinsya, it's less high-tech than the cities, but yung hindi lang yung bait ng tao, but yung sense of community, yung parang yung kapitbahay mo, pamilya mo rin, nandyan. Sana maibalik natin yon sa buong Pilipinas. Ngayon kasi minsan dahil sa Facebook, dumadami din kagalit natin. Pag hindi tayo magkasundo sa politika, upakan na kaagad. But we can have different views on certain things, but still act like family. In fact, yung ibang mga family nagkakawatak. Neng Perez watching from Japan. Yan. So watching from Cebu naman si Jack ko. Strictly no pork allowed. Yan, Baby Lea Susulan. Yan. So Senator Puso talaga, God bless palagi. Yeah. Napaka-importante po ang puso. Ang utak napaka-importante. Napaka-importante din po puso. So ginawa tayo ng Panginoon na may utak pero meron din pong puso. That's a good place to live. So guys, let's reflect on that. Let's demand from government to give our best, but let's not stop let's demand from government that we get the best from government, di ba? Bawat singko, bawat mamera gamitin sa tama, bawat oras na government na dapat sa gobyerno, resource na dapat sa gobyerno ay gamitin para sa tao. Having said that, let's also do the same, di ba? That not only when we have extra, sometimes when we don't have extra, mas masakit yung pagbibigay, pero mas makabuluhan, mas meaningful. So God bless you all. God bless you. Magandang hapon sa inyo. I'll try to say hi ulit tomorrow.
that was affected by the natural disaster. It was my job to report that, Mr. President, prices of basic necessities are already frozen. Hindi na po nila pwedeng itaas ang presyo ng bilihin, pero pwede nilang ibaba kung gusto nila. Diba? And then supply is also available. We have sufficient supply coming from different areas. Yun yung mga sinasabi natin kay PRRD. Just to make sure na lahat ng tao doon sa disaster area ay hindi magugutom.
You would also say, I recall, where to get, di ba? Alin yung
Yes,
mga
where to get also.
Yeah. So,
also.
And sa PCOO naman, on my end naman, for example, ang role ko naman ay i-communicate sa ating mga kababayan yung ginagawa ng gobyerno para sa kanila, para ano yung rason doon, 'di ba? Hindi para magpabida, para mawala yung takot nila, na alam nila na sinasalo sila ng gobyerno, no? At saan kayo kukunin? Sabihin sa akin ni Ruth, dito nila kukunin. Sasabihin ko, dito kayo pumunta. Dito nyo kukunin yung pagkain, dito kayo pipila, etc., di ba? So that and it's also a form of accountability, di ba, na dito ginagastos yung pera ng ating mga taxpayers' money, dito pumupunta, di ba? So, and then as a result of that, the people have this sense of wellness, and then they trust government and they cooperate, di ba, with government. Hindi yung umaharap ang PCOO dyan para makipagbardagulan, no? O kaya bastusin ang mga Pilipino ng katulad na ginagawa ng Impacta na nandyan sa ng Impacta na Claire Castro. Kasi you know why I find it why it galls me, no? What this Claire Castro is doing is because she's so disrespectful of the Filipino people. Pasweldo ng bayan. Remember, Ruth, PRRD kept on repeating that to us, paulit-ulit. Hindi kayo special. Mga trabahante lang tayo sa gobyerno. And yet, what do you see now?
Yeah.
These blowhards, these arrogant bastards, the way they treat the Filipino people pains me so much, because kung nagsilbi kayo sa gobyerno under PRRD, si PRRD, sakit na sakit siya pag ganyan. Kaya nga, di ba, yung mga instructions,
sakit na sakit siya pag may nakikitang naghihirap. Even yung mga pila ng bus, pila ng jeep na nakikitang nakabilad sa tao, sa araw yung mga tao. Even pila ng mga permitting sa City Hall. Ayaw ni PRRD yun, yung mga nakita niyang ang habang pila sa MRT. It breaks his heart.
Yeah.
Pero I remember looking back at what we did before during the time of PRRD, because of his leadership, maiiyak ka talaga. I'm having goosebumps right now. Kasi even the private sector, pagka sinabi natin sa kanila na mag-set up na lang kayo ng tent, like in Mindanao, there was a Mindanao earthquake in December 2019. Sabi ng DTI doon sa manufacturers and retailers, mag-set up na lang kayo sa open area para meron pa ring mabibili ang mga tao. Because they cannot go inside the edifice anymore kasi the earthquake nga, di ba? Kailangan would have to undergo inspection. So nag-set up ng tents ang Robinsons, SM, Pure Gold, Watson, yung mga ganyan, para lang siguradong may mabibili pa rin ang tao. And the prices, like I said, the prices of basic necessities enumerated in the Price Act were frozen. Hindi pwedeng itaas. Pwede nilang ibaba, pero hindi nila pwedeng itaas. And it was the cooperation of the private sector that we saw. And they did it willingly dahil nakita nila ang leadership naman kung saan nanggagaling at kung paano naman natin sila iniengganyo to help us or to cooperate with us.
So in other words, no, Ruth, what I'm hearing you say is that a good leader unites the people, galvanizes.
That's right. Because he has empathy and because his leadership is based on ethics and morals. Kasi kung wala kang values, a good leader would know his purpose of being there. Why is he there? If I were the president, why am I the president? What's my purpose? What's the first thing that I need to do? What do I have to deserve this kind of responsibility or honor, if you may call it? Hindi ba? Ganun yun?
Yeah,
Binigay sa'yo ng tao, you were ordained by
yeah,
God to
yes.
be
That
a
that that
leader.
trust, that trust for PRRD was so sacred, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, the word is sacred. You're right. You're right. It's too sacred for him that all he wanted was to serve.
Yeah.
And we served beside that kind of leader. We walked with him.
And because of him, I totally understood what it means when you say that public service is a privilege. That's why nagpasalamat siya sa atin. Salamat ginawa ninyo akong president kasi I had never done anything as challenging as working in government, but at the same time, nothing as rewarding. Kapag ka talaga nakikita mo nagbabago yung buhay at bumubuti yung ano. Also pala, Ruth, na gusto ko lang idagdag, isa pang trabaho ng PCOO, kasi nga nasa NTFL kami, kapag ka may disaster ko instance, ang CPP, NPA, NDF, kasi nga mga extortionist yan, di ba? Mga magnanakaw, nagtatayo sila ng mga kunwaring fundraiser. So kami tagasabi, wag kayong wag kayong mag-donate diyan. No, so magbibigay ka ng information, in other words, no. So among ko, Ruth, kung nag-agree ka, pero sa akin landmark yung accomplishments ng Duterte administration kasi number one, si PRRD, siya yung leader natin. No, talagang he really inspired all of
He
us.
inspired us. He motivated us. He knew what to do.
Yeah.
He knew what to do. And his men,
Yeah.
the secretaries, also knew what he wanted.
Yeah.
Diba? Kaya lahat naman tayo susunod lang because the leader was there. The leader was very clear kung anong gusto niya para sa tao. Kaya I will go back to saying that a good leader must be grounded on ethics and morals. Kung wala kasi nun,
Yeah.
anong klaseng leadership ang magagawa mo sa isang bansa na 120 million?
Yeah. Also, I
Okay,
also think, no,
leadership.
one of those things that PRRD gave us, no, that's connected to what you're saying, no, na he was firmly rooted in the present, kung ano yung pangangailangan natin, but he was like a bridge to the future, our aspirations, di ba? Yung kung ano yung highest aspirations natin as a people. Kaya maririnig mo sa bibig niya, gusto ko yung mga fishermen natin, marami pa rin silang magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng maraming isda para yung mga anak natin makakain pa ng masarap na isda. Ganun siya, talagang to the nitty-gritty, alam niya talaga. No, so yung moral compass niya ang tindi. Talagang kaya nga natatawa ako na okay, go ahead, Ruth, go ahead. Go.
Ang bigat kasi isipin kasi ibang-iba if you compare it, the PRRD's moral compass, PRRD's will to serve. And remember, diba, in his mind, he was a mere servant. He was a mere public servant. Hindi siya presidente ng bansa, hindi siya dapat ino-honor, hindi siya tinatawag na Your Excellency because he's the servant of the people. That was what was in his mind, and that's what he showed all throughout his administration. Yun ang pinakita niya sa atin. Kaya tayong lahat, ganon din yung ginawa natin. At least most of us.
Yeah, and that was what that bow was all about. He would only bow to the Filipino people. Kasi nga, talagang humble siya, no? Servant talaga siya. At saka kami, ginanyan niya talaga kami, no? Hindi kayo special, no? Which is why it's so shocking. The arrogance of the Marcos administration is so shocking and it's so enraging.
It's appalling.
It's appalling. It's really,
appalling.
oh my gosh, talagang, and
Kahindik-hindik in Tagalog,
kahindik-hindik talaga, parang horror show, di ba? Yan sila matibag, oh my God, di ba? Ano yun? Parang napakaliwanag ng messaging agad-agad ng Marcos administration na kami ang nakaupo ngayon. Kami may-ari ng Pilipinas, kahit na pwede naming gawin. Biro mo si Marcoleta, plunder, ano yun? plunder? Saan ang plunder doon, di ba? So, wala nang batas
Private
kasi
money.
since-
Yeah, it's private money.
wala nang batas kasi sila na yung batas. Yan yung sinasabi nila sa atin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Ruth, may tanong pa ako sa iyo kasi leadership, no? Si PRRD was a man of the law, right? He was so in love with the law. No, I think more than anything else for me, no, parang that was one of his very strong traits that he wanted us to follow the law, 'di ba? And yet, how do you do that? How was he able to achieve that, 'di ba? Kasi siya mismo sumusunod siya talaga sa batas talagang kaya pala
He was Yeah, he was a man of the law. He was exercising frenetic leadership. Ano siya wise leader. He knew what he can do and cannot do. He knows that he's not supposed to bend the law. So he just limits his actions kung ano lang yung doable within the bounds of law. Hindi siya nag-deviate, hindi siya nag-violate. Yun lang because he's too concerned also about accountability as public servant. He knows that he's accountable to the people. Hindi siya nag-deviate. So ginawa niya lang kung anong dapat niyang gawin based on his knowledge and based on, of course, PRRD naman was a very prayerful person So, meron rin siyang spiritual guidance na nakukuha that he asks for every day. Hindi ba? Hindi lang natin alam, di niya lang pinapakita sa lahat ng tao. Pero matindi pong magdasal si PRRD. Before he does anything or says anything, he starts the day with a prayer, asking for guidance from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. And in fact, no, parang the funny thing about all of this is that people, his political enemies have painted a man that's not familiar to us. Who are you talking about? That's not PRRD. Sino yan? I think you're talking about yourself because you're murderers, you're plunderers, you're lawbreakers. But that's not PRRD. You're talking about somebody else. You're not talking about PRRD because for me, he's a very spiritual man. And in fact, no, one of those things that I loved about PRRD is that he was so in touch with his soul, with himself, no, that he would not lie. He would not lie to anybody about who he was, no? And he was not apologetic kung sino talaga siya. 'Di ba? Hindi siya nagmamalinis. Hindi siya
nagmayabang, hindi siya mayabang, in short.
Super.
Hindi siya fake. What you see is what you get with him. Kung ano, kaya lang meron lang isa. Meron, I have to qualify that pala. In his speeches, 'di ba, nagmumura siya, nagagalit siya lalo na sa drug dealers and drug lords, 'di ba? At saka yung mga nagnanakaw ng pera ng bayan and the public utilities na may utang sa atin na naniningil sa atin na hindi naman natin kailangan bayaran, like water. You remember that, Manila Water and Manila
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
No, so maririnig niyo si PRRD nagmumura, galit, ganyan. You would think that he's the worst president ever, but in private, he's the most spoken person. He's the most soft-spoken man I have ever encountered.
Very gentlemanly towards
he speaks gently. He moves gently. At that time, bata pa siya, ha? It wasn't because of his age. Talagang ganun siya as a person. Hindi siya yung... Siyempre, pag magmumura ka, papakita ka ng galit. Because kailangan mo. But his yung naturalesa niya is a kind, soft-spoken, soft-hearted person na sana nakilala ng mas marami pa.
Yeah, I agree, Ruth. At saka yung nagkakaproblema lang naman sa pagmumura ni PRRD ay yung mga taong mabababaw. The vast majority of Filipinos not only understood but loved it about him because it really mirrored his authenticity kung sino talaga siya. And pag nalaman nyo ang totoong kondisyon ng Pilipinas, sinabi nga ni Mark Twain no, na yung I cannot basta pinupuri ni Mark Twain ang expletives, no. So ang sinasabi ni PRRD, pag nalaman ninyo ang totoong kondisyon ng Pilipinas, mapapamura kayo. Minsan
Yeah,
yun na lang,
totoo.
minsan yun na lang yung word kasi I'm a writer, 'di ba? Minsan yun na lang yung word that will do kasi it will express the
Mm.
disgust and the kung gaano talagang kababa na yung ginawa, no? So, ang nagkakaproblema lang naman diyan, yung mga mahilig sa panlabas na na panglabas na itsura, 'di ba? So
Yeah.
they would rather have a drug addict plunderer president who doesn't swear or he doesn't have children with tattoos, 'di ba?
Yeah.
That's their definition, no? That's their definition of respectable. 'Di ba? So that's the problem with the Philippines. Talagang ang daming kababawan, 'di ba? But imagine, no, that his landmark accomplishments they can't see, 'di ba? But that's just a for me that's just a minority, Ruth. Hindi naman yan yung rule, no? He was a very
Pero
popular president. Yeah.
oo, but good leadership cannot be measured with the outward appearance, eh.
Yeah.
The good leadership cannot be measured with social graces or social manners. Hindi ganun, hindi mo yun makikita doon, eh. Because that's only the exterior, but you don't see what's inside. What's contained in the heart. Ano
So,
laman ng puso ng tao? Kahit maganda tingnan, very eloquent mag-English, 'di ba? Polished ang itsura, pero anong laman ng puso?
and ano, and in
That's not the measure of a good president to me. The measure to me of a good president is someone with a heart, someone who empathizes with the people that he serves, someone whose title is not someone whose title does not go before him, someone whose title is not in his head.
yeah. Someone who's not defined by his title, 'di ba? He's
Yeah.
not attached to it, 'di ba? And PRRD embodied that to me, ano. He was the one who gave prestige and respect sa kanyang titulo and not the other way around, which is what you're seeing right now. Si Matibag, NBI director yung title niya. Tapos he kept on saying, NBI director ako. 'Di ba? Kung lang papatato niya. And they're so proud about their titles that it really defines them, no? But it's not the titles that make a man, it's the man that makes the title, 'di ba? And we
Yeah.
saw that with PRRD. In fact, 'di ba, Ruth, si PRRD didn't want to be called president. Parang for him, parang it was just so parang he lost the way he said it, no? But
Wanted to be called
yes.
mayor. Mayor
Yeah,
na
but
lang siya.
But you know, he was the very essence of what a president is, no? And he would say he preferred to be called mayor, but I couldn't because to me he was a president talaga, 'di ba? So that's the for me, and that's why kaya namin pinag-uusapan ni Attorney Ruth yan kasi meron tayong crisis in leadership, no? Walang leader ang bansa ngayon na of course except for the vice president, no? Buti na lang we have her, no?
Well, you're so right. We have a crisis in leadership right now because like I've been saying from the beginning, there are so many things that the government needs to address for the people. Pero nasaan tayo nakafocus? Nasaan ang focus ng administration? Nasaan ang bulk ng pera ginagastos? Sa politika, sa impeachment, sa AIX, tupad. Ano nga yun?
Mga yon. Yeah.
Yung mga yon na temporary relief para sa mga tao. Para mapaligaya sila sandali tapos matuwa sa presidente or matuwa dun sa politiko na nagbigay. Pero after a while, ubos na yon eh. Ilang araw lang gagastahin yon. And then, wala na ulit.
Not only that, Truth, it disempowers them, which I think is what the intent is, no? It doesn't empower them. Unlike if you build farm-to-market roads and then they're able to sell their produce, no? It really empowers them, which is what we saw during PRRD's time, no? So, it empowers them, it disempowers them when puro na lang tupad, puro dole-outs. Ginawa mong bansa ng mga naglilimos ito, ang Pilipinas.
Yeah.
And it makes them feel that meron silang utang na loob dito sa mga kurakot na ito. So you're perpetuating that kind of rotten politics, 'di ba? So binobobo mo ang Pilipinas, binabansot mo imbes na ini-empower mo. The strength of a nation and the quality of a nation will depend on the quality of its citizens. So what kind of citizens has Bongbong Marcos created. Citizens that are always on the dole out and nakakaawa, 'di ba? Nakakaawa bang Pilipino, right? Go ahead, Ruth.
It is probably just making all of us stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Baka akala nila on the powers that be ay lahat ng tao naniniwala sa kanila. Marami pa rin naman tayo na nakakapag-usap ng ganito at nag-iisip at naiintindihan at nababasa ang motives behind their actions. Nakikita natin yan. We're not blind, we're not deaf, we're not mute, especially. Kaya tayo nagsasalita kasi nakikita natin kung ano yung ginagawa nila sa atin. Education na lang. Ayaw nilang maging highly educated ang Pinoy. Especially the young ones. Yung difficulty ng mga bata makarating sa eskwelahan, aakyat ng bundok, tutulay sa alambre, tatawid sa Pampanga.
Yeah.
Diba? Para makarating sa eskwela because we want them to be ignorant. We want them to remain ignorant para iboto ng iboto kahit na nga wala namang kakayahan.
Kahit mga magnanakaw sila.
Kahit.
And in fact, parang for me, no, they want to make us stupid, but in reality, they're the stupid ones because they're very incompetent. That's the only thing they know about running a government. They don't know about what PRRD knows. We saw it, no? And
Yeah.
PRRD was an excellent executive, but these people, they're clowns. They're like, what the hell are you doing? 'Di ba? Wala talagang alam, 'di ba? So, and I really also think, Ruth, no, kasi these are second, third generation politicians. They're just minana lang nila yung mga pwesto nila, yung mga pangalan nila, pero they have the accomplishments of their own, no? So inuulit lang nila kung anong natuto nila sa mga magulang nila, like Bongbong Marcos. Ano ba natutunan niya kay Ferdinand Marcos Sr. at kay Imelda Marcos, mga magnanakaw, 'di ba? So what's he doing now? He's nagnanakaw. And what is Sandro Marcos doing? Nagnanakaw din, 'di ba? So, yan ang curse ng Pilipino, no? Now, we vote into office the worst of us, no? So, I also think, Ruth, no, ang mga leaders mahalaga. I think that each of us has the potential to be leaders and that we should step up. And a leader inspires. A leader inspires because alam nyo, working with PRRD, it's no exaggeration to say that every day that I worked under this man, I was so inspired. I was so inspired.
He was really inspiring, even just the way he speaks, even he actually is very encouraging. Like ako, I was a mere undersecretary of DTI. But he was encouraging. Okay na yan, Iha. Naintindihan ko na. Just give me the 1-pager, 2-pager. Ako nang bahala. Ganon siya ka. I mean, a short explanation from you and he will say, okay, gets ko na. Pahingi na lang ako ng 1-pager. Ako nang bahala. See how humble he is? No? And appreciative and how humble. I mean, for a president, talking to a mere undersecretary na, okay, Iha, gets ko na. Pahingi lang ako 1-pager.
Yeah. Very
and you know what? That thing came out in the sauna.
Yeah.
What I discussed with him came out in sauna 2020.
What was it? Do you mind? What was it?
It was about consumer protection. The Internet Transactions Act at that time, but hindi natapos yung ITA during his term, hindi niya napirmahan. But credit goes to the previous administration because we were the ones who worked really hard for it. Hindi lang natapos dun sa signing na.
Alam mo,
term ni PRRD yun.
Alam mo, Ruth, yung nakikita kong malaking kaibahan ngayon, parang for them, that post, a government post, is like a signal for them to start stealing from the Filipino people Yeah, whereas with us, it was a duty, a responsibility, a burden, right? So, not only that, parang what I'm seeing right now, because Lisa Marcos daw is the one dispensing all these titles, di ba? All these posts, no? So,
Mhm.
it's like a prize that they dangle. That to me is it's a very insidious form of corruption. Because see what's his name? Si Mel Robles donated how many? 250 million ba
From
or something?
PCSO?
Yeah, of PCS, and then he got a post. And
Okay.
then what's his face? Si Anton Lagdameo, one of the biggest donors, 600 something million.
Mm.
Now he's the special assistant. But look at but why are they running Senator Marcoleta and Congressman Mike Defensor, right?
And considering it's private money that they're
Yes,
spending,
yes.
that they spent, hindi
Yeah,
ba?
yeah. So
Kaya nga,
because they're both campaign contributions, and yet this one they get off scot-free, pero ito talagang pinili that injustice is it's like a neon sign, okay?
you see the irony of it all, and you see the unfairness of it all, and you see the motive behind all this. Kitang-kita naman political persecution lang naman talaga to, in plain and simple words. This is purely political persecution, nothing more, nothing less.
And I really think it's because these are people who are really that's their politics. It's gutter politics, and public service doesn't figure in any of this. And all their lives, it has never figured in their lives. Matagal na yung mga yan. Talagang inugat na sila sa gobyerno, pero anong alam nila? Tanga-tanga, 'di ba? Highest office in the land, pero ang tatanga. Ubod, parang so shocking. So shocking. Look at Claire Castro. She's quintessential example, 'di ba? But no, let's not even go there. Let's look at Bongbong Marcos. Does this guy even know anything at all? Right? But he was senator, he was governor, he was congressman, he was all of this, but all on the strength of his father's name, right?
You
And
would see naman how the international leaders receive him when he
yeah,
goes out of the country, diba? You would
yeah,
see like
yeah.
how President Putin received him, like how President Trump received him. You would see, and you would be able to compare and see the difference nung panahon ni PRRD, how he was received by the foreign leaders, how he was accommodated, diba? And how nakita mo yung welcome ni Xi Jinping kay PRRD sa China?
Red
Nakita mo yung one-on-one ni President Putin and President Duterte? 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Magkaiba. And who's the president of Indonesia at that time? I don't know if still alive. Widodo. President Widodo. Yeah, diba? Who was also his friend. And who was his friend? The Prime Minister of Japan?
Shinzo Abe.
Yeah, Shinzo Abe. Umiyak pa si PRRD when he passed away.
He was assassinated. But you know what? Yung kay PRRD, no, tinitignan ko siya kasi nabiyayaan tayo ng access sa kanya. Alam mo, none of that is feigned. None of it was phony. It was who he was, no? He was really a sovereign. Yeah, he was a sovereign. First of all, he was a sovereign individual, which is why being a sovereign leader was just natural to him.
Yeah.
And the sovereignty of the Philippines, it all followed, diba? It all followed because our leader was a sovereign individual. But here, what we're seeing right now is a pathetic man who's in the powerful grip of a substance abuse disorder, a weakling. All his life was people covering up for him, from his mother to his wife, right? So, it all follows, no? Walang soberenya ito si Bongbong Marcos, weakling. That's why the country is like this. It was natural for him to surrender, the outrage of surrendering a Filipino citizen to a foreign court, which is talagang terrible source of shame, 'di ba? So, but for him it was nothing kasi he's like that, no?
Yeah. To PRRD kasi, leadership and sovereignty were second nature.
Yeah.
It was his skin
Yeah.
Diba? It was second nature to him. Ngayon naman, second nature din dito sa current president natin, yung pagiging ganyan niya.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At saka second nature kay PRRD, yung pagiging compassionate. At saka yung
Yeah.
pagiging mahal na mahal niya yung mahihirap at inaapi.
Empathy talaga.
Alam niyo ba mga kababayan, si PRRD yung campaign song niya, yung ipaglalaban ko, yung kay Freddie Aguilar, siya pumili nun eh. Tapos siya nag-tweak ng lyrics. Siya talaga yan. Kung sino yung naririnig niyong yan, siya yan. So, siya, ayaw niya yung nang inaapi ang mga Pilipino, lalo na yung walang-wala sa buhay. Naku, galit na galit siya dyan. That's who he was. Okay, go ahead.
That's who we want. Yes, that's who he was. I just remember. Did I tell you the story about me leading the business delegation to the Middle East in 2017? We visited Qatar, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. And PRRD, because I was business delegation lead, I was in almost all of the events with PRRD, and I saw, like a few feet away, the president begging the prince, maawa naman kayo sa mga kababayan ko, wag niyong pabayaan na umuwi ng nakakahon.
Yeah.
Ayaw niya yon. And he was practically begging them.
Yeah.
Ganon niya pinaglaban ang OFWs natin. Ganon niya pinakiusap. Ganon niya anong Tagalog ng beg?
Iniluhod? Ganon ba yon?
Ganon niya iniluhod.
Idinaing.
Begging, like you're asking. Idinulog yung mga OFWs natin na maging safe, maging ligtas kung nasaan man silang bansa sa Middle East. And I saw that firsthand. Kaya from then on, 2017 pa lang, oh my gosh, this guy, I was praying he will live long and he will have many, many, many years of presidency for the Philippines. But
that's good.
Yeah, that is that.
I also, the way he loved the OFWs is something else, no? Talagang,
Yeah.
medyo, I thought nga, nung una, parang OA naman. Kasi may nangyari na naman sa Middle East, di ba, na mga kababayan natin na inapi doon. Gusto niya siya pupunta doon. Gusto niya siya hindi naman kailangan, sir. Pagkatapos, gusto niya sunduin, no? Gusto niya sunduin na pupunta siya doon. Tapos, nung sinabihan siya na wag na lang. So, nag-antay siya sa airport. Talagang ayaw. At saka pag pinag-usapan niya yung mga OFWs, no, there's always a catch in his voice, no, na lalo na pag yung balikbayan box, wag ninyong gagalawin yan. Ganyan ang pagmamahal. Nandyan lahat yung pagmamahal ng nanay sa kanyang mga anak, no. And
lahat ng pinaghirapan.
It really pained him, no, na yung nanay nandyan away from the children, tapos pag-uwi yung anak adik, 'di ba? So
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Diba we know that speech?
Yeah, we know that speech.
Memorize natin yung speech na yun, right?
Yung anak adik, yung asawa ng bababae, gamit yung pera na pinapadala ng asawa doon sa abroad.
Yeah.
Diba? Or yung asawa.
Alam niya, no? Alam niya.
Yeah.
So parang sa kanya,
it breaks families. That's why, as much as possible, di ba sinasabi niya, if the country had enough money, we do not need to send people abroad to work. Di ba? Hindi natin kailangan ng magkaroon ng OFWs para lang makakuha tayo ng dollars from them. Di ba? Yung revenue kasi that the country gets, syempre it helps in the economy a lot. Pero if we had enough money, ayaw ni PRRD to send OFWs abroad because it breaks families.
yeah.
Alam niya yon, ayaw niyang nasisira ang pamilya.
And it weakens society as a result of that, di ba?
Yeah, because
So-
family is the most basic unit, di ba? Of
Yeah.
society. Yeah.
And si PRRD, no, siya kapag nagsasalita siya ng ganyan, na nararamdaman talaga namin yung pain niya. Talagang, at saka sa kanya, pwede ka namang leader kasi that was what he did all his life kasi matagal siya in public life ni PRRD. Ang tagal, it spanned decades, no? I think 5 decades. Something like that. Di ba? Matagal siya, no? So, he made it his business to go down on the ground at alamin yung nitty-gritty. Kaya hindi mo siya Naku, Mariosep, hindi mo mabobola si PRRD. Lalo't-lalo pag tungkol sa mahihirap. Alam na alam niya ang dinadaanan. And parang, Ruth, you were saying, no? About the OFWs na nasasaktan siya na, tapos yung goal niya, gusto niya na hindi na natin kailangan umalis sa Pilipinas unless gusto mo talaga, pero hindi kayo napepwersa, di ba? And it's funny that the Vice President was also echoing that, di ba? Ganyan din yung goal niya, no? So, hindi nila tinatanggap na dito na lang tayo, hanggang dito na lang tayo. Ganun ang totoong leader. Aspirational.
Yeah.
Inaandar niya ang Pilipinas na bakit itong let's say Japan, no? Kailangan bang umalis ang mga nanay para lang mapakain ang mga anak? Hindi eh. 'Di ba bakit? Kasi hindi magnanakaw yung gobyerno, no? Hindi magnanakaw.
But you know, tayong dalawa kasi we have first-hand experience with PRRD. But for those listening na hindi nila nakita or nakausap si President Duterte up close and personal, they can go back to the videos, yung mga speeches niya, and read through the words that he's saying. Makikita nyo, of course, a lot of them were jokes, but a lot of jokes were meant to be true also. Nagbibiro siya pero may laman yung mga sinasabi niya. Meron siyang gustong sabihin na hindi lang niya madiretso. And you will see the love, the compassion, the empathy that he has for all of us as a people, as a country. Wala pa akong nakitang ganyang presidente na tayo lang ang iniintindi niya, tayo lang ang nasa isip niya.
Walang di ba Ruth, walang party sa Malacanang. Walang ganon, di ba? walang fireworks.
Ayaw niya nun. Ang pagkain natin. Ayaw niya. Pagkain natin, di ba, munggo? Yeah, tapos ang dessert natin, turon. Wala. The food during his time was never lavish. Wala. Very simple. Ube halaya, paksiw, ganyan. Or ginisang, yun, yung ginisang sitaw, tsaka adobo.
Yeah.
Ganon ang pagkain.
And I wish that we would go back to that, no? And it will go back there when there's again another President Duterte. And that's she will go back there.
Sana your viewers will look into this also para naintindihan or nai-imagine nila what we're saying. Makita nila dun sa mga videos ni PRRD. Makita nila doon sa mga past documentaries that were made for him. Totoo po lahat yun. Makikita nyo naman sa mukha if you would know how to read a face, body language, the tone of voice, makikita mo the kind of person, the character of the person, pagkatingin na nila, so that they can relate also with what we're talking about.
But you know what, Ruth, I think on the other hand, parang there's no need for us to do it. You know why? Because this is the only president who's had that kind of trust and approval ratings, historical, no? Which means that there is this small group na maingay. Part of them is the CPP, NPA, NDF, who they have this propaganda machine that keeps on lying about the former president, and yet look at his trust ratings, no?
Yeah.
To this day, he's been 4 years out of office, yet there was a recent survey that he's still the most trusted. Somebody who's no longer in government is the most trusted, and the ones that are in government, it's his daughter, no? So who's the most trusted consistently ever since? And PRRD, I forget, si Sakur. Remember, there was an interview, and then he was saying that the trust ratings of PRRD would be the envy of the known democratic world, of all the leaders of the known democratic world. No, so there is that noisy minority. No, why are they noisy? because they have the funds to do it. No, they have the funds. They're funded by Western media. No, they're funded by all of this, and this is the price that PRRD has had to pay. No, that now he's in The Hague, and I think, you know what, Ruth, no, one of those things that opened my eyes talaga is this Epstein files, the existence of the global elites, no, and the Philippines is one of those that are targeted. So and of course all of this, no, going on and on. So I think that it is our duty as parents, no, as the elders, the ones that are na top of society, mga matatanda na, in other words, to teach your children.
Elders.
The elders, you have to be leaders. Your children have to be leaders, but you have to be leaders also.
Yeah, we have to be leaders. And I agree, we need to teach our children to be leaders. And we need to teach them to be leaders with value.
Yeah, yes.
Ethics, with the moral high ground. Hindi
Yeah.
pwede tayong magpalaki ng anak na
Walang hiya,
walang hiya, na walang
walang mukha, mga sinungaling.
na walang pakialam
Yeah.
sa morals or sa values or sa ethics. Hindi pwede kasi lalaki sila ng hindi natin gusto kung paano sila lalaki. I mean, it's so hard to describe it. It's so hard to say. I don't want to offend anyone, pero I'm not being righteous also, but we are raising future citizens of the world eh. Anong klaseng citizens ba ang gusto nating i-produce if they are our children? Anong klaseng life ang gusto natin for them when they grow up and then they mature and then we're not here anymore to guide them or to watch them.
This is why I think that Bongbong Marcos is dangerous, because he has torn the very fabric of Filipino society, so that now, no, why will I stop taking drugs? That president up there is taking drugs, and not only that, everybody's turning a blind eye on it. The AFP is turning a blind eye, the PNP is turning a blind eye, everybody's turning a blind eye. Not only that, he's stolen, he's the mastermind, and everybody is protecting him. The harm that this moral degenerate is doing to our country, he's tearing the very fabric of our society. Not only that, Ruth, kasi nung panahon nung tatay niya, ang mga binabayaran lang, kinurap lang nung tatay niya, AFP, PNP, tsaka yung cronies niya. Pero ito, massive, widespread, the entire government, and even its citizens, no, the bloggers who are being paid, diba? Left and right media, no, everybody's being paid right now with people's money. He's corrupting Filipinos,
yeah.
and the government is really buckling under that moral degeneracy of Bongbong Marcos. No?
Exactly, so where is the moral ascendancy to lead us? To lead the country? Nasaan? Saan? Where is it based? Where is it grounded? So kaya, which now would lead us to thinking na kaya tayo ganito kasi yung leader natin walang moral ascendancy over us. Kaya kita mo, hindi naman nakokontrol ng pulis ang mga batang nagbabaril ng kaklase. Ang mga batang gumulpe ng ng teacher dahil sinabihan na huwag maghikaw hanggang namatay ang teacher. And how old were these kids? 12, 13? Na magkapatid? Nakapatay ng teacher dahil sinabi huwag maghikaw? So ganun, because as above, so below, that's what I always say. You know, I always said that to Secmon because Secmon was always very happy with us in DTI, Secretary Ramon Lopez. And then I would just always respond to him by saying, sir, as above, so below. Meaning, because you're like that, therefore I'm like this.
Yeah.
Ganon din si Secmon naman kay Presidente Duterte, as above, so below. Because President Duterte was like that, so Secmon was also as upright as him. Di ba ganon lang yun eh. Kung ano yung puno, ganon ang bunga. Like I told you about your son. The fruit will not stray far away from the vine. Kung ano yung leader, ganon din ang bunga. Ganon din ang followers niya. So,
This is why we're speaking up.
yeah, this is why we're speaking up. So, kung upright sana si BBM, edi upright din sana yung mga taong nakapaligid sa kanya. Kasi kung upright siya, he will call them out. 'Di ba? If they're doing something wrong right under his nose and it's impossible that he doesn't know it, he'll call them out. But does he?
No. No, he
Does
doesn't.
he?
You know why? Because he doesn't have the capacity. He's fully incapable of any moral ascendancy. Why would you to ask for all that from someone who is in a grip of a substance abuse disorder is like asking a 5-year-old to tie your necktie. It's totally impossible, no? Totally impossible talaga. Hindi niya kaya. So that what has happened to our government right now is that the very people, for instance, the DOJ, who are supposed to be who should embody justice, are the very embodiment of injustice, right? The ombudsman, who's supposed to be the embodiment of the fight against graft and corruption, is in fact the embodiment of graft and corruption by protecting this corrupt president, right? No, and this president, who's supposed to be the leader, is the antithesis to what a leader is. No, he's a tyrant. He's a plunderer.
Yeah.
You can never call someone like that a leader. He's definitely not a leader. No,
not.
so
You know,
Yeah,
the
go
kind
ahead.
of leadership that is so nice to watch.
yeah,
That's just so nice to watch, whether you like the person or not. Sige, remove all the personalities. In the first SONA of PRRD, or maybe the second SONA, there were impeachment talks against Leni Robredo.
you know,
Diba? And then in the SONA, he was supposed to read a 35-minute statement as his SONA. That was all he was going to deliver. But the usual, typical of President Duterte, he segued, diba? Turned off the teleprompter, and just did spontaneous, extemporaneous speech.
that's his gift.
Diba? That's his gift. Yeah,
Gifted speaker talaga.
You know what he said? Baka malabas natin yung videos nun from before. You know what he said? Huwag niyong pakialaman si Leni. Binoto yan ng tao. Siya ang vice president. Do not impeach her.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what he said. With conviction, with passion, with all the gusto that he can muster. Do not touch Leni.
Yeah.
Binoto yan ng tao. I mean, hindi ko lang magaya masyado yung kanyang accent, pero
I will not countenance it. He's not
Diba?
going to tolerate it. Yeah, he said.
exactly. But imagine kung ganyan sana ang presidente, wag niyong pakialaman si VP Sara, 32.5 million ang bumoto dyan. Of course, hindi naman niya sasabihin, mas mataas pa ang boto niya kaysa sa akin.
Minasahe pa yung sa akin.
Oo, di ba? Mas maraming bumoto sa kanya kaysa sa akin. Di niya na kailangan sabihin. But, if you're really a leader and you're so secure about yourself as the president of the country, bakit ka papayag i-impeach ang vice president mo? At bakit ka papayag na yung tatay ng vice president mo na 80 years old ay ipapadala mo dun sa 7,500 miles away from us? Na meron naman tayong korte dito. If you're secure about yourself, your presidency, your position as president, or your pagkatao na lang, if you're secure enough, why will you do that?
Also PRRD had a very keen appreciation and knowledge and respect, reverence, in fact, for a democracy, diba? So he knew that the votes of the Vice President Leni then was something that you wouldn't fiddle with, diba? Boses ng tao yan.
Right.
He never silenced anybody. In
That's
fact,
what he said nga,
Yeah.
di ba?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So yung isang beses, yung after nung SONA niya, nag-rally-rally yung mga CPP, bumaba siya, sumali siya doon, di ba? Kinausap niya.
Mhm.
Kasi
Yeah.
against the